Hey guys, welcome back to another action figure review. Today we're taking a look at more Jada Toys Street Fighter figures, this time reviewing Dhalsim from the Street Fighter 2 series of games. Coming in an arcade themed box, we have a large plastic window showing off the figure and all of the accessories, with the background on the inside of the box featuring stage art from the game. Over at the back, we have a picture of the figure itself, his name and country of origin, and a few player select pictures of other figures planned to be released in this series. The side has more artwork of the characters, and here we have a better look at the arcade style shaped box. Removing the figure from the bottom of the box lets us easily slide out the entire cardboard and plastic tray. The plastic is taped to the cardboard and requires cutting to get the figure out. After that, you can then take apart the plastic trays, and even keep the cardboard background of Dhalsim's stage for display with the figure. Dhalsim is a classic iconic character from the Street Fighter series, making his debut in Street Fighter 2 and seen in many more games afterwards. This version of Dhalsim is portrayed in his original Player 1 colors and outfit first seen in Street Fighter 2. While many other fighters have entered the tournament for fame and fortune, being a pacifist, Dhalsim enters the tournament of fighters to raise money to save his village. Using the fighting style of yoga, he has the ability to extend and contort his body, stretching out his limbs to attack from long ranges. Dhalsim even has the ability to teleport short ranges while meditating. Dhalsim has the ability to breathe fire and blow it in various ways, used as projectiles or to burn large areas. Although in later games it's revealed to be an illusion that only hurts those who believe in the illusion. After the World Warriors tournament, Dhalsim retires from fighting, but continues to roam the world, helping those in need whenever he can, being pulled back only into street fighting when Dhalsim realizes that his fighting powers are needed the most. Let's check out the details of the figure. Up front, we have a stern-looking face of Dhalsim, with the bright pupilless white eyes, red stripes across his face and head, and a single dot at the center of his forehead. Sharp facial features give Dhalsim a toned look, with his chin, cheeks, and nose all ending in sharp definition. Over at the side, we have a better look at the red face paint covering the sides, his ears, and the large metal earrings attached here. The last of the red stripes wrap around to the top of the head over to the back, ending in a smooth, bald finish to the head. 3 small skulls hang from the yellow necklace on top of the highly toned muscles of the tan brown body, featuring bulging chest muscles, abs, and other toned muscles, giving his chest a large bulky appearance. More large muscles are sculpted into the body over at the back, with many creases of skin separating the large back muscles. Like the rest of Dhalsim's body, the shoulders have more muscles as the main detail of the sculpt, with large bulges of muscles with the tight skin wrapping around them. The wrists are wrapped in yellow cloth, textured with a heavy cloth detail, with large metallic bracelets hanging from the wrist. The installed hands are in a praying pose in a flat palm pose. A torn yellow pair of shorts is worn, held up by a brown rope tied around the waist. The sculpt is textured in a heavy cloth effect, with small tears at the edges, giving it a worn and tattered appearance. The back of the shorts are similar to the front, with just more wrinkles in the sculpting and more small tears. More muscles are sculpted into the thighs and legs, with the only details being the muscles and more yellow cloth wrapping around the legs, similar to the wrist. We wrap up the details of the figure with the bare feet. Comically large feet, like the rest of the Street Fighters have. Each foot is detailed with its own toes and nails. Let's take a look at the articulation. We have a ball jointed head that lets us rotate all the way around, and at the neck another ball joint that gives us even more range of motion to look downward and up, with some great combined range of both of the joints here, as well as the ability to sway side to side. We have a butterfly joint at the shoulder, letting us get a bit more range here on the shoulder, as well as full rotation at the shoulder, rotating biceps, double jointed elbows that bend backward, only to be restricted by the large muscles here, wrists that rotate and bend up and down. We have a joint at the chest with minimal rotation, but allows backwards and forward crunching, with a ball joint at the waist, combining both the chest and the waist to have some great forward and backwards crunching. Legs that open up and bend forward, with the back range being slightly blocked by the sculpt, having to move towards the side. rotation at the thigh, double jointed knees that bend backward, rotation at the legs, this makes up for the lack of rotation at the ankles, with ankles that only bend up and down, and a foot that twists. Dhalsim stands 6 inches tall, and Jada Toys is doing a great job with most of the consistency of the scale. The proportions line up well with each other and look great paired with each other on display. Taking a look at other 6-inch scale figures, we have some Hasbro figures lined up to get a good comparison between the companies and this scale. While the bulkiness of the figures can vary, the overall height seems to match across these figures. Next to McFarlane's larger 7-inch scale, we can see the size difference is massive, with Jada Toys being on the more smaller size of the 6-inch figure, while McFarlane pushes the sizes with their own style. And lastly, we have a Mythic Legion skeleton that are in the 6-inch scale but usually push a little bit higher by being a very bulky figure. Starting off with the accessories, we have a screaming alternate head similar to the original, only with an open mouth. Swapping the heads out is simple, but since the pegs are so small, you'll definitely want to warm up the area before you pull them off. I personally use hot water to loosening up the joints. Afterwards, you can install the alternate head by applying a small bit of force. Similar in detail to the original head, we still have the same face paint and metal earrings, only with an open mouth screaming expression. We get a pair of both left and right arms. These are made of a rubber material and with a metal wire allowing you to bend and pose the arms in different positions. As far as I'm aware, the fists are not able to be swapped out, as I did try to pull them off even after heating them up. In order to swap out the arms, you'll first need to pull off the original arms at the bicep joint. This leaves you to install the rubber arms that have a soft socket that can be slowly rubbed into the joint. Like the arms, we also get a pair of rubber legs that can be bended to hold shape as well. Unlike the original legs, these have no articulation or joints, making it difficult to stand on. Just like the arms, the thigh joint can be popped off and the rubber legs can easily be pegged back into place. These large legs do add considerable weight to the figure. We have a pair of open palmed clawing hands. And since the hands have such a tiny peg, it's recommended to heat up the wrist before removing them. Pulling them makes them slide off, and replacing them is as easy when the socket is heated up. We have a clear stand with a fork style head at the top. It attaches to the small clear base that it comes with. You can use this stand to rest the long limbs onto, perfectly fitting the ankles of the bendy legs. I'm impressed with Dhalsim, especially with the bendable limbs. That's something that I've only really seen in like 4 other figures in a very long time. It's interesting because it's a huge part of the character, but I would have assumed that we would have got the flame effects instead. But Jada Toys went around that idea and gave us something more unique. A simple yet very well done figure. The sculpting and the likeness of the in-game character match very well and looks exactly how I would expect Dhalsim to look. While the use of paint is minimal, we don't have any fancy effects like dry brushing or washes, but what little paint is used well, especially on the face, where Series 1 with Ryu and Chun-Li had a few issues. For the price that I paid for, $25, these are excellent figures. With an alternate head, pair of hands, and the long stretchy limbs, you'll have many options to pose Dhalsim, and all of the fire attacks are just a simple swap away from any other effects you have in your collection. I'm almost positive we'll get a Player 2 version with the fire effects and head sculpts to go with it, but for now, adding in the bendy limbs was a great choice. One small detail I really liked was the real metal earrings. Small touches like that bring up the quality of the figure and look way better than you could ever get with plastic. I really do appreciate small touches like that. As for the articulation, again, the ankles don't rotate, but at least it's made up with the leg rotation, even if looking a bit awkward when used. But I am impressed overall with the level of range we're getting on these figures. Dhalsim usually is a rare pick for anyone to play in Street Fighter. I don't think he's the most popular character in the series either, but as an action figure, you'll definitely not want to miss out on this one. Again, I have to say the stretchy arms made this figure really unique. There have only been a very small number of figures with this type of feature, and it's perfect on Dhalsim. As a character that rarely gets figures and even less mainstream attention, Jada Toys did an amazing job with Dhalsim, and any fan of Street Fighter would enjoy this. If you're looking for a cool desk figure to fidget with, or just trying to fill out your Street Fighter collection with one of each character, this is the one to get for Dhalsim. An amazing price, tons of features, and looks great also. I definitely didn't expect to have this much fun with this figure. Alright guys, that's it for this review. Leave a comment letting me know how you like this figure, hit the like button, subscribe, or share this video with your friends to help out the channel.